Well, hey there. Welcome to the Paw Paw Chronicles and More with Jim. Well, today what I'm doing is I'm transplanting a couple of persimmons. This is the more part. Beautiful, beautiful trees. Already transplanted one right there. And then this one right here is getting transplanted here in a sec. These are 1 gallon root maker pots. This is a 3 gallon root trapper bag. They both come from the same company. But what I'm going to do is what I wanted to do is get more root development. The first one I took out, I saw an awful lot of root development down in the bottom of the pot. And I want to go ahead and get this out of the pot, put it in here. These 2 persimmons came to me by the way of a trip I took down to McKee, Kentucky, and visited Cliff England, his orchard. And while we was there, he picked a piece of fruit from one particular persimmon that he called a China bully. Well, it wasn't a bitter persimmon. But I put the persimmons on the windowsill, let it soften up a little bit, and then when I cut it open, lo and behold, there was some seed in there. Cliff suggested that it had to have been crossed by a male dominant hybrid. But anyways, that was 2 years ago. I had 3. They were planted outside. 1 died. The other 2 I went ahead and dug up and I transplanted into these root maker pots and stuck them in the greenhouse. And that one there had very good root development, and I suspect this one right here will also. We're going to grow them in these bags for a little while before I plant them outside permanently. Probably a couple years. And oh, there it is. Got a little mixture going on here of mycorrhiza and a really slow release fertilizer, a type of fertilizer, and I'm going to be generous with it. I'm going to inoculate that tree, and now we're going to go ahead and take it out of the pot. But first, I'm going to grab this pair of scissors. And I'll explain that here in a sec. Just in case. Well, let's unpot it and see what we're working with. A whole lot of root mass. Throw that off to the side. I'll come in closer so you can see the root development that is caused by that pot. And what I want to do is some of this I want to get removed, and the reason being is that pattern from that pot, it'll stay with that tree, and it could shorten the life of the tree. The big boys that are sticking down here are the ones I want to get rid of, because the other ones will slink in place. Give me a moment. Very healthy root system. I really like seeing that. We get rid of this twisting here. He'll develop more root. I can tell you this. That is a tender root. I can tell that it is a tender root. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the bag, and then we're going to start filling it in. I've got the mycorrhiza and the slow release fertilizer mix in there. The soil I'm using is Happy Frog, and I'm just going to stick it down in there. There we have it. And I'm also using another soil. That's Fox Farms Bush Doctor. It's not as porous as a Happy Frog. Happy Frog seems to be extremely gritty. And I'm just going to put some on the edge, outer edge of it. And then I'm going to do something else. Now these bags retain an awful lot of moisture. And when I filled that bag up to about this level, I put water in there. And I allowed the water to recede just to get the soil moist, because the soil is extremely dry. There. Now, what I'm going to do is the very top of the pot, you see the pot is kind of cone shaped. So the very top of the pot, I'm going to push down in there, the soil level, and try to bring us more even. And there's a reason for my madness, and I will share that with you here in a sec. It creates a nice little root ball. Doesn't hurt the roots any. And the roots that would be roughly in this area right here are exposed. I didn't break the root up. I treated it like it was a plug, and the reason why I did that is because I don't want to have air pockets in there. The root itself will slink out where it needs to go. It'll find its way. Yeah. This stuff right here I'm being generous with. It won't burn it, it won't hurt it, it'll help it. It gives the lateral root system something to go to. Now, get this finished up. That's a beautiful tree, a very, very pretty tree. And the thing I liked about the tree itself, the fruit was extremely large, probably one of the biggest persimmons I've ever had my hands on. And to tell you the truth, they say that the vast majority of your seedlings will come out male when it comes to growing them from seed. And that's the reason why a lot of people will graft. But you know what? These two trees, one's going to be placed out there towards my orchard. The other one's going to be placed out in the front of the property where I have some other persimmons that are going to be grafted. If these turn out to be female, great. If they turn out to be male, I'm okay with that, because of the fruit and how big the fruit was and everything. I'll allow them to grow up, be male, and cross-pollinate with the females that I have, because you never know what you're going to get. Let me get this saturated real quick. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. And I'm using a mist because I don't want to beat it up. Now, these bags are known for retaining moisture. They're very good to retain moisture. The bag itself, the water will actually start to sweat outside that bag. The bag itself, as the water is coming out of it, it'll put you in a slight bit of a mind of a cold can of pop or a cold beer in the warm air. But this will get settled down in here. I'll keep watering it until the soil is good and moist. We're going to put them back into the greenhouse, and while they're in the greenhouse, getting to that point of going dormancy, I'll let them go dormant for a little while, and then these are going to be brought into the house. And a lot of reason is there's a possibility that they may not be able to live this far north. So I think the best thing for me to do to help get them to live is to build as much root development as possible. And that's the reason why I'm going with these bags. I've grown pawpaws into these bags and took the pawpaws out of the bag. And you know, the last one I did, it was in the same size bag as this, a 3 gallon. And from here all the way down, nothing but a lot of root development. What happens is the root will make it to the edge of the bag and it can't move because the bag is kind of like a felt on the inside, and it offers just a little bit of air in there to cauterize that root, and it in turn generates more root mass. And I wanted to go with volume to try to see if I can get the same root development out of these persimmons that I had gotten out of the pawpaws. It's just something that I wanted to share with you. While this is settling down, that one there is finished. I'm going to take it over to the greenhouse, and I'll put it inside a milk crate to do that, so I ain't disturbing the bag too awful much. And then we'll see how things go out with it. Man, those are beautiful, beautiful little trees. Anyways, my name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. Y'all have a God bless day.